But there are times it will make too much of us, ask us too many things, and we can't cope. It could be your family, it could be your work, your friends, just life, or even God. And you've got a classic case of this in the first reading today, when Abraham had been a very good, faithful follower of God, and he was told he'd be the father of many nations, but he and his wife Sarah could not produce a child. And they prayed to God, and then late in life, she bore him a little son, little boy called Isaac, which means laughter, joy and happiness. And they were filled, the house was filled with joy and just so sense of fulfillment. And then out of the blue, God tells Abraham to take his only son, through which would come the whole heritage of Israel, all the Jewish nation, take him to Mount Moriah and offer him as a sacrifice. And Abraham, it's like telling a faithful Catholic, well look, I'm going to take your boy, he's going to go into the army and be shot. And so Abraham takes little Isaac, and they make the journey of 3 days it took them. And Isaac would have been saying, Dad, where's the sacrifice? Where's the lamb of sacrifice? And poor Abraham would say, well, don't you worry, son, it'll all work out. So he builds the altar, he gets his knife, he binds his son, puts him on the altar. It's an extraordinary scene. People puzzle over how God could be so ruthless and cruel. And then just as about when he's going to plunge the knife into the boy's neck, the angel stops him. And of course, God praises Abraham for his tremendous trust in him. And in life, of course, the whole point of having faith is to have trust. You have faith in your husband, faith in your wife, faith in your friends, trust. If you haven't got trust, you haven't got faith. And trust in God can be very difficult because terrible things happen out of the blue. Like we've got this username, but Sister Margaret Murphy came here every time we had Mass here, struggling against cancer, which was in her lungs. They removed it. Then it was in her gut. They removed it, and she was making good progress, and she was having the chemotherapy and the ray treatment. And Saturday week, not yet last night, but the night before, she couldn't get out of bed. She felt something ominous was happening. She was paralysed. And so her sister drove her to the Royal Shore, and they found out that she had tumours in the brain. She brought to the Mater a week ago, and the doctors confirmed the worst. So she knows now, she's come to the point, having served God in many ways. I couldn't tell you how she cared for the poor and the downhearted, particularly people who were affected by alcohol. And they loved her. And now she's going to come to terms with the fact that she's going to die. And she's struggling with that, but she's doing well. And I said we'd be praying for her today. But I'm giving you an example of how it was so sudden and unexpected, because all the prognostications were that it's going, chemo's working. And that's what happens in life. You never know what's around the corner, and you're all sitting here trusting in God because while you're here. And he in his turn puts his strength and love upon us. But you don't feel that much. And so we have to look at the second reading where the boys go up on the mountain, the 3 of them. They're just ordinary human beings, fishermen, and suddenly Christ is transfigured. He's radiant with beauty. He's radiant in light. And they just collapse before him. And then they get frightened that it's too much for them, and they say, Lord, wish we could hold on to this. There are times in your life and mine when you have an experience, it's called a peak experience, where God sort of takes you up for a brief moment and says it's all real. Somehow in your prayer, sometimes at Mass, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes a good thing happens, and it makes it, yes, I can carry on. So those 3 men then got that experience, and they wanted to treasure it because they came down the mountain and they started back on their normal work, whatever it was, teaching the people. And the next time they climbed the mountain, it was with Christ. And that's the interesting thing. God did not save his Son so much that he loved us. The Son had to climb the mountain, hang on the cross, and die. So we don't have to do that, but we have sufferings in life, and they're inexplicable, and some of them are so hidden you can't even understand it all. But they do occur. And the thing that we need to do is trust God. That's what Abraham had to do, what we all have to do. Trust Him. Because sometimes you can't understand. So you can't take God and package Him neatly with a barcode like they do today. God's beyond all modern technology. He's there with us in this mysterious fashion. And that's why you come here today. Because otherwise your life is just one thing after another. One ordinary thing which is good, one ordinary pleasure is good, great friendship is good, but underpin it, there has to be something deeper and richer, and that's called trust in God. That there is a God, He loves us, no matter what happens in life, He's with us. That's the message of today's gospel. And it may be hard for us to take, all right, but without it, we're just like a balloon blowing in the wind, blow this way and that way. One day it's going to blow up.